What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Union Fitness Podcast.
It's been a minute. You forgot
Been
what
a
to
couple
say.
You want to try that again?
Yeah.
All right, do it from the top. Go.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Union Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, the best-looking one, Jared.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Wow.
What's that make me?
Second best?
The biggest one?
What's that make Josh?
The
Third?
smallest
I guess
one.
we're ranking. I'm not going to go back on it.
I'm the little bear of this trio.
Oh, man. Well, guys, it's been, I'm going to approximate,
Okay.
2 months since we've all done a podcast together.
That sounds about right.
About right.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Because it's been,
Because you...
next week will be, next week will be 10 weeks post-surgery for me.
So, okay, then, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And I did one the week after my surgery with Haley.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
because Jared couldn't be here. So it's been over 2 months,
Yeah.
There you go.
and it feels good. Not it,
It's
didn't
good to
feel,
be
it didn't
back.
feel good. It feels good now that we're all back.
The boys are buzzing.
Boys are back in town.
But we've all been up to a little bit of something, haven't we?
A little bit. You want to start?
Okay, I guess I just volunteered
You
myself.
did.
Yeah.
I mean, as we know,
You turned into the guy from Scary Movie 2 with the good hand.
I think I've progressed from that a little
my
bit.
good hand.
I think I've progressed. Strong. I think you said strong.
Oh, well, yeah,
Yeah.
So he has a good hand, and then when he's dangling from the window, it's
Yeah.
like, take my strong
It's
hand.
strong, yeah.
Yeah.
But he gets up in the potato salad and,
Yeah,
and everything.
He bastes the chicken.
That's how I've been lit.
I can do that whole bit for you.
Yeah.
I know that.
We'll save that. But
My grandma was real impressed the first time I did it at Thanksgiving.
that's that's how I lived for a few weeks. You know what I mean? I'm like mixing stuff with my arm, and you just gotta make it happen. But I think we all know by now that I completely blew my bicep apart. It's like people will see me and they ask me, "Man, what happened? Is it like your elbow, like your shoulder?" I had some guy the other day ask me if I tore my pec, and like the most nonchalant way you can put it is, "Well, no, I kind of tore my bicep off the bone," and they're like, "Oh my goodness!"
Egad.
I almost puked.
Oh my-
It almost happened.
Well, and that's like the normal reaction I get. But the crazier thing is like I can't watch movies or TV shows
Mhm.
when like somebody's injured.
Yeah.
But you go through it and you're like, "Oh well, it is what it is."
When I did that arm wrestling tournament a while back, I watched, I think it was 3 bicep tears and 1 arm gets snapped, right?
Yeah.
And the sound that it makes when it happens just like makes you shiver. It's weird.
Yeah. No, it's crazy when you witness it.
Mm-hmm.
But from this one experience that I've had, it's
Hopefully
not
the
as
only one.
yeah, right.
Mhm.
It's not as crazy when like it happens to you. You know what I mean? Like with this instance anyway. But it happened. We all know it was CJ and Todd's fault.
Yeah.
Do we know that?
I'm not allowed to say that.
Okay.
You're not allowed to say it
I'm
either.
not allowed to say that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
This could be used against us in the court of law.
so what had happened was
What happened was.
it was a Monday morning. I was probably dehydrated. I think I'd been drinking the
Oh,
weekend before.
now whose fault is it, Curtis?
So I wouldn't have been drinking if I knew I was picking up 600-pound tractor tires the next day. So I don't even know if I was drinking. That just
Blame it
seemed
on the
it seemed like
He's
that.
backpedaling
Yeah.
awfully quickly,
Yeah,
Jared.
seriously.
Yeah, I
So
don't know.
so Todd comes in the office and he's like, "Curtis, CJ, go up to Lawrenceville, go to this tractor tire place, pick up 2 tractor tires, bring them back for class." I'm like, "All right, whatever." So CJ and I get in my truck. We pull into the place. I don't know. You probably know where it is. It's like if you're coming from here.
Yeah, it's underneath the 31st Street Bridge.
Oh.
I don't think so.
Or
I think it might be a different place. I don't know though.
it's right by the Magneto thing, right? The Magneto mural.
Couldn't tell you. So it might be that place though.
pretty sure.
Yeah, that's
But
probably-
so
yeah.
we roll up there. I pull my truck like right in, and we get out. We walk in. CJ's like, "Kurt, go ahead." And I'm like, "Is everything good?" He's like, "Yeah, these are your kind of people." And I'm like, I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You know, these old rough car people."
Oh,
I'm
we're
like,
gonna
"All
have
right,
to
man,
cut this
whatever."
out.
These old
Whatever.
rough car people.
I have to edit that
Like-
out.
Like, if anything, CJ, look at you and I. You look like you belong in
You're,
here.
you're the rough car guy.
I do belong in here. You look like you belong in
CJ's
here.
gonna walk in there and just like the youngest kid there's gonna be like, Dad?
Yeah. So we go in there and I'm like, "Hey, you know, we work at Union Fitness. We're picking up some tractor tires. What do you got?" He's like, "You're not gonna bring them back, are you?" I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna. We're not gonna bring them back."
What
Just-
a question.
yeah, just show us the tractor tires. So he ended up being a nice guy, but he takes us out there and he points at him. He's like, "The one is 200, 250. The other one's like 400, 450." He was like, "You wanna go over there and try them out?" So they were stacked on top of each other, and I went up and I just kind of picked it up, you know, using my legs. I was like, "Yeah, that seems good." He was like, "I'll get the forklift. I'll bring them out, put them on the ground, so you guys can look at them." So he gets a forklift, brings it out, puts the big one on the ground. He goes, "You guys want to try it out?" I didn't really want to, and I go, "CJ, why don't you try it out, man?" He stands there, like, didn't even move, didn't even blink. And I was like, "CJ, flip it real quick." Didn't even move. So me,
Strong man my ass.
I can't be no bitch. So I walk up. I bend down, good position, right? Good form, arms are straight, using my legs. I get it an inch, maybe 2 inches off the ground. Plop, plop, plop. That's exactly what it sounded like. And I just put it down, nonchalant. I kind of like look at the sky, look at the birds. I knew exactly what happened. I didn't even need to see it. And the one guy was like, "Yeah, it was heavier than you thought, isn't it?" He didn't know what happened. And then I look at CJ and I'm just shaking my head. He goes, "Did you rip your pants?" And I go, "Nah, dog." He goes, "Did you rip your bicep?" And I went like that. And it was kind of just chilling up
All
there.
balled up.
And I was like, "Yep." So I walk away and the guys are like, "So you guys want them?" And I'm like, "Yep, throw them in the truck." And CJ's like, "Kurt, we need to go to the hospital." I'm like, "Why?" "So they can tell me what I already know." You know what I mean? Like, I knew what happened. They were just going to get me in to see a specialist. So I'm like, "Let's get the tires in the truck. Let's go back to work. I'll talk to Todd. Todd will know what to do." He was shook, right? And of course, like I would be too. But it was one of those things, like
I'm
you
fucking grossed out.
like
can't do it.
you think there's going to be a bunch of pain, and there's none,
Sure.
and there's no pain,
Sure.
and like I mean, you know why?
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's not there.
Right. It's way easier, well, from a pain standpoint, than a like tearing the muscle belly.
Yeah.
Like those hurt.
the partial tears are rough. When it just
Those-
goes.
You've witnessed me with a couple of those. But that hurts way more than a rupture. And I honestly felt like I could have lived the rest of my life. And I could have. I could have lived the rest of my life with it just like it was. Now, I couldn't have done anything, right? But you know, that's the level of pain I was in was minimum. I'd say at its worst, the next day, it was like a 3 out of 10. You know, I got an appointment the very next day. Shout out to my buddy Zach Zidian for getting me an appointment with Dr. Christopher Schmidt, who, from what I understand, is one of the best in the business as far as the elbow goes. And you know, they hooked me up with a surgery, put me back together. 10 weeks next week, go back to see him, and we'll see what he says. But it's given me quite a different perspective and outlook on a lot of different things, and I'm very thankful, honestly, for kind of going through it. It brought me back down to a place that I needed to be as far as my life goes and my outlook, and just very appreciative for everything, and even more so for like the people around me in my life. You know, as silly as that sounds, like I did a lot of, like, not to be corny, but I did a lot of soul searching for those 4 weeks that they kicked me out of this place. And you know, it was crazy because if you tell me I can't powerlift for a little while, I'm good because I can still be around the people who I love to be around. But then when you take me away from being around those people.
Right.
What do I got? And like, fortunately, I had my amazing wife, who helped me every step of the way. But besides that, man, I was in rough shape for a day or two because I didn't have the thing that I love doing, and I didn't have the people that come along with it. And man, in my mind, I was like, this can't get any worse. And then you kind of have a reality check. And then, physical therapy starts, and you're going in there and you're seeing people who are really messed up, like for life, who have real problems. And it's eye opening. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I'm good. I'm good. Like, my arm is tiny and I can't use it like I used to, but I'm healthy and I'm going to be fine. And it just kind of opened your eyes to everything. So that's kind of the journey we're on right now. The worst part wasn't even the surgery. The hardest part for me was the day I got my cast off. And
Your noodle
man,
arm.
they take that cast off, man, and you see, and the stitches aren't even all the way closed up, right? Or the scars. And they take the stitches out, man, and you're still like bleeding, and pus is coming out and everything. And you look, and I know, hey, don't let this monster fool you right here. This,
Is that my arm?
this thing was, when you told me before I went into surgery, I said, Jared, realistically, how much smaller is this thing going to be? You're like, man, it could get half the size it is right now. And I guarantee, I didn't do any measurements, it was half the size that it was.
Shrunk right up.
And in 2 weeks, that was the craziest part to me. Even my tricep, from just not doing anything, atrophied a lot too. So, when they got me out of that cast and I looked at it, that's when reality kind of kicked in. I was like, okay, this has just begun. So, but it's been a lot of fun.
So how's PT going for you?
It's good.
Yeah.
Of course, even though I wasn't able to come see you, that was the plan.
I know.
That was the plan.
Content king.
Oh
I
my
know.
goodness, we would
just
change
started
the world.
recording as you guys were doing PT.
Yeah. Come in there. I trust my surgeon. He, the stuff that he was telling me and the way we were having a conversation, and when he recommended the people that I go see, I 100% trust him. And although I would have loved if we could work together, but
would have been fun.
it would have been. But it's worked out very well right now, and they're great up, UPMC up there north. I don't know if it's technically Wexford or not, but I'm up there a little bit. But they got me. They just progressed me to 4 pounds on my curls,
out.
dude.
Look out.
So we're coming a long way.
You and I curl the same now. It's pretty cool.
We're just out here trying to catch Jared. I see him in here just doing curls all the time.
All the time. Yep.
Yeah.
I
So-
didn't tell you the last time I did a curl.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because from the powerlifting background, curls are not necessarily prescribed in any way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
So how much is the bicep tear going to affect his powerlifting?
Oh, it could affect it a decent amount.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For sure. Especially on like a deadlift, right?
Mhm.
That's actually where you see a lot of bicep tears in powerlifting, and then on a bench press as well.
Mhm.
Okay.
So he needs to have full range of motion of his elbow first,
True.
obviously. But I mean, your biceps, like the strength of your biceps is important, especially in like big benchers. You never see big benchers with tiny biceps.
That's a fact.
Interesting.
Now here's something that leads off of that. I thought this is where you were going. Do you think that direct bicep work needs to be prescribed more often in powerlifting?
Oh.
So that's something I've read up on a little bit, and there's nothing that really shows it does or doesn't necessarily do anything, right?
Okay.
One, it never hurts to strengthen the
Sure.
muscle, because the biceps doesn't like actively do anything technically in powerlifting,
Mhm.
right? Like you don't curl anything, you don't flex your elbow for really any movement to like move a weight. But anecdotally, bicep curls have been shown to like help with elbow pain,
Sure.
especially when like bench pressing.
Mhm.
Some people like to do them like for elbow pain when they squat too, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I've never done that. But again, like I think, as far as just like a support structure for the bench press,
Yeah.
training your biceps is great.
Now, do you think there is a correlation maybe, and I doubt there's a study done on this, but would you say like somebody who deadlifts with a over-under, a switch grip,
Mhm.
if they were to perform weekly, higher repetition, curls of some sort, whether it is dumbbell, cable, whatever, do you think that would lessen their chances of a bicep tear during a deadlift?
Maybe in theory, as long as you're working like a full range of motion, like it would never hurt, I guess.
Sure.
Like, I think theoretically, yeah, you could see a good benefit for that. But
do you think mostly it's like technical, the way people
well, I
deadlift?
mean, the reality is you're picking up what 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 pounds,
Yeah.
and you try to flex your elbow while you're doing that, as you saw with a tire.
Yeah.
It doesn't work so well,
Right.
you know. So, and
Did
it
you
just
see that?
Learned.
Did you see that result?
Learned. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's more where that comes from. So like I can see where it would maybe help with like a little bit of protection, but at some point, like you have so much weight on the bar, if you decide to use your bicep to try to move that weight in any form, there's a breaking point for it.
Sure.
And you know, some people just do it their whole life, and then eventually they like it never bothers them because they were never lifting enough weight to actually damage the bicep, and until eventually they do.
Yeah. Now, for a lot of people, I know you see a lot of people who probably like born and raised around Pittsburgh, right? So, do you see a bicep tear for, you know, like blue collar guys who have been working their whole life, or not really?
So I was actually going to bring that up when you were talking a little bit. So I've had multiple people who were like concrete workers, construction workers, guys like that, who don't have biceps. Like they had torn them at work and never did anything about them. So
That's
they
my
come
dad.
in. Yeah, they come in and they just, their bicep is like balled up towards their shoulder. And I'm like, when did this happen? He goes, oh, it's been like that for 20 years. I'm like, oh, okay. He goes, I don't know. I forget how it happened, but I just kept working. I'm like, okay, we're going to.
They didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like when I talked to my dad about it, he was so like chill about it. He was like, oh yeah, it just popped and, you know, just went back to work. But when I think about it, I feel like there was a time when some people couldn't afford to take that time off.
Right.
You know, you're legitimately trying to provide for your family and put food on the table, and having a surgery and taking months off, no good.
Yeah.
You know,
some of those guys are just, I mean, they're tough.
they're hard, man.
Like they're
no
they're
doubt.
tough, and they're also so strong, like through their wrist and their forearm and the other flexors of the elbow too. That like it'll suck for them for a few months, and then next thing you know, they're back to doing what they were doing.
Yeah. Now, for obviously, the better conditioned you are going into a surgery, the better chance you'll have of a good speedy recovery, right?
Yeah.
Or it helps.
Mhm.
Now, what's the average recovery time for maybe one of your patients that you'll see
For what?
for injury like this?
Like a bicep
Yeah.
tear? I usually see them 2 to 4 months, I'd say. Kind of depends on the person.
Sure.
There's a lot that kind of goes behind that. Obviously, the younger, the healthier, the sooner I can kind of get them out. I'd say 2 to 3 months. And they can like continue independently with like their coach or whatever they're doing.
Sure.
Just for like strengthening after we get their range of motion normal. They no longer have a lifting restriction. Stuff like that. Older population, especially people who don't have access to that stuff, and they have to get back to, you know, lifting their grandkids, carrying groceries, stuff like that. We just got to make sure that they can do that stuff before I discharge them.
Sure.
Yeah.
So more, you know,
Takes a little bit longer for
occupational
them to
stuff.
heal too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, well, I mean, we're gonna see what happens. I'm picking your brain. We
Yeah.
talked a little bit this past week.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I'm still gonna get some ideas, you know, for some movements, especially next week after I go back for my follow-up appointment. So maybe we can get back to like body weight movements, like you said, and stuff like that.
Let's go.
You guys are gonna come in here. I'm gonna be benching the bar. You know what I mean?
I'll sit on it.
Bar 95. We'll just work our way back up.
There it is.
Taking our time though. But before we transition here, I want to shout out FortiFX. FortiFX is they're some of our good friends, and we are now selling their protein bars.
Go ahead, do it again. There it is.
We are selling their protein bars. I actually had one today. The Alan recommended the chocolate. Very good.
Good.
Very good. I mean, I've had a lot of protein bars, as I'm sure you guys have, and like some of them, you're like, no, it tastes like
They almost taste like chalky.
yeah, chalky, like you're eating like Play-Doh. These actually have a legitimate good taste, good flavor, texture, things like that. So I highly recommend them. They're going to be here at Union Fitness. The bars and the company's going to be on hand at the Kabuki Open as well.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, they're going to be sponsoring the Kabuki Open powerlifting meet that we're having here in 6 weeks from this Saturday. So that's going to be a 1-day, 2-platform event, 100 lifters.
Wow.
It's gonna
That's
be
gonna be
nuts.
awesome.
It's going to be nuts, and
It's
it's going to be
gonna take
awesome.
It's gonna be
all
legit.
day.
There's going to be
And we got people from Union competing too.
Oh man, we got like half of the staff.
What's the date?
It is September 11th.
September 11th.
Mhm.
September 11th. Yeah. So we are teamed up with Veterans Place as well, and what we're doing is we're raising money through the door, and we're going to donate some of it to Veterans Place here in Pittsburgh. So it's going to a good cause, and there's some sponsors that are coming on board to donate cash money to the winners, bars, deadlift bars, power bars, squat bars, stuff like that. Anheuser-Busch is going to donate prizes just like they did at the Iron City Open.
Signed up
So
for the wrong meet.
You signed up for it's not too late, Jared. It's not too late. Jump in. So yeah, shout out to FortFX and the upcoming Kabuki Open meet on September 11th.
And we'll talk about trying to get that streamed on our YouTube channel again.
Yeah, of course.
That was awesome.
Man, that
Yeah.
was awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was very cool. That would be cool to do. Yeah. So, Jared, why haven't you been with us for 2 months? Well, no, you were here when I wasn't here, but for the last few weeks.
So,
What happened, brother?
well, I got married.
Out of nowhere, wasn't even planned.
Shotgun wedding.
Yeah, wasn't even planned. No, I'm kidding.
No, there was a lot of planning that
Yeah.
went into it. Shout out to my wife Maggie, who did 99.9% of it.
Sweetheart.
She was
Oh my goodness.
an
Yeah.
animal with the whole planning process, but the wedding was perfect. It was a blast.
It was a great day.
And I am very happily married. I love being married.
Yeah. I will say, Josh, I've been to a lot of weddings.
Can we talk about this? Because you teased me about it 2 weeks ago, and then there was no actual story.
Man, you know,
I mean, I could send you a video
Oh,
too.
yeah. I've been to a lot of weddings, to a lot of bars, to a lot of parties. I can count on one hand the people who I've seen dance like this man right here. And that's counting like music videos. You know, you know what I mean? That's counting like BET and MTV and CMT.
Aaron.
Yeah.
So you're telling me Jared is in the same conversation as Usher
100%.
or Justin Bieber?
Usher, Usher,
Michael
don't
Jackson?
listen to this.
Yeah. No, it was great. And I never had a doubt, right? I always had this feeling. And I asked Conroy, and I was like, I think Jared likes to party.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, Jared's a wild man.
Yeah.
And I could tell Josh was being dead serious. And man, when like well, you know how like when two people get married, they kiss,
Yeah.
and then they're like, yeah, and they walk down the
Yeah.
aisle. And
Yeah.
this dude, they kiss, and he's like, yeah, and I'm like, oh, it's about to get real.
Turn this thing up to
And look,
11.
look, the best part, it starts thundering in the background. Like as soon as they said I do, as soon as
Nice.
they kiss, it starts thundering. It was beautiful. It really was. And then the DJ puts on Thunderstruck.
Yeah.
And they start walking down the aisle.
So,
And-
an orchestral version of
Yeah,
Thunderstruck.
And it was just
It
as-
was awesome.
It got me just as fired up as the real Thunderstruck. And everybody's like clapping to the beat.
clapping.
Yeah.
Curtis starts
It was
flipping
awesome.
tables,
Yeah.
tears the other bicep.
Yeah. And then we go in, man, and man, the setup was beautiful. I'm not. Who got married, me or you?
I don't know.
I did.
No, I feel like I was.
See, I don't
mean,
get like outside perspective view because I had like the whole thing, you know.
It was great. It was a beautiful place. Everything was well done. Everybody had a great time.
Did you get to eat?
Dude, so this was the best, right? So
Okay.
I told our caterer, I was like, I have to eat.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to eat. And I told like my DJ that too. I was like, look, I need to have time to eat.
Yeah.
So we got served first and we're eating or whatever. And people are coming up like saying hi, whatever. And then I finished eating and most people still haven't gotten their foods. A woman comes up from the kitchen and she goes, would you like seconds? And I
Oh.
was like, yes,
Yeah.
I
Did
would
you
like
take
That's
seconds.
fucking way.
And
then
You
she-
want
yep.
seconds.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I looked at Maggie. I was like, we get seconds. and then she goes, what do you want? And I was like, I can pick anything. She goes, yeah, I mean, it's your
Your
menu.
wedding.
I was like, oh my God, yes. So I got
Did
to
she
eat.
bring you a gallon of water? Because you needed that too.
Oh my God, I had probably 2 gallons of water that night.
Yeah.
So like the one thing that people always assume, you brought up the dancing. People
Mhm.
always assume that I drink when I dance. I'm bone sober.
Were you really?
Bone sober.
Impressive. Yeah.
Why?
One, because I would like, the reality is I dance too much to like actually have
Yeah.
any type of intoxication.
It would have been dangerous if he had a beer.
Yeah, like my body's just like, we need alcohol for energy, get rid of it now.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't have the time to drink because I'm dancing. So,
Josh, when we left, we left, and I gave this guy a hug, right? And like I hit his back, and like sweat splashes. No lie,
I'm
no lie.
Samu's
Every
fucking
time.
splash zone.
Every-
I like hit his back, and then I like wipe it on my tuxedo. You know what I
Oh
mean,
my
or my
God.
suit. And I was like, "You're the man. You're the man." No, it was awesome.
But yeah, so my quad's actually locked up dancing because I was so dehydrated. And I had a decision at that moment that I could stop or just suck it up and keep going, and that's what I
Wow.
did.
So
Because like,
then you started break dancing because your quads were less important.
He started like
Yeah.
using his
Yeah.
arms on the floor.
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
doing the head
I
spins.
think I only
Yeah.
did that a couple times. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it was cool.
It just happens. But
Now,
it was fun. I had someone giving me water the whole night so I could like not cramp up again.
hey, that's clutch. That's who you need right there.
What a like. Out of all the wedding stories, I don't think I've ever heard someone say, "Yeah, somebody kept feeding me water all night."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And I was
No.
sober. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bone
But-
sober. Yeah.
Now, the honeymoon?
In April.
April.
Cool.
Cool.
Yep.
Where's it gonna be?
St. Thomas.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Gonna do
awesome.
the resort life, see some blue water. It's gonna be awesome.
that'll be fun.
All inclusive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
So obviously, not to jump to me, but our vacations are spent in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And I just once in my life want to sit in a pool that like has the bar in it.
Oh yeah.
Like that's all I want.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
once. I don't have to do it every year. Just once. That's my game plan.
I've never done that.
I might go alone, to be honest.
That sounds like fun.
It does sound like
People
just
t-
sit in the water all day.
Yeah.
I'll have another beer.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Sure.
Well, some people talk about like at the all-inclusive resorts like that,
Yeah.
that if you get a mixed drink or something, that it's like diluted.
Right.
I wouldn't even care. Like
No,
I'm
yeah.
cool with that.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm at the.
are you in a hurry?
Yeah. Right. Just bring it up to me. I'm
Yeah, I
chilling in the
don't
water.
care.
When
Yeah.
we went on a couple cruises growing up, and my parents would buy a drink package, and then their whole thing was like, "Well, we got to get our money's worth, so go ahead."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep.
Man, see, we never got to do our honeymoon.
Oh really?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. Because you got
yeah.
married in COVID, didn't
Yeah.
you?
Yep. So we were gonna go. Good question. I forget where we were gonna go, but it was gonna be out of the country, island resort.
Yeah, we'll
all-
cut that part out. It's fine. He remembers.
Yeah, all inclusive. But kind of bummed about it. But
Yeah.
I know I'll get a chance at some point. But
Yeah.
I always told myself like, all I want is for us to go, just the two of us, sit on a beach, and not worry about anything,
Yeah.
and just have somebody just bring us drinks
Yeah.
all day.
That sounds awesome.
I don't think I could do that for a full week. I think I'd be good for like 4 days, and then I'm
I
like,
don't know.
dude, get me home. Yeah, I don't know. But so where was your time spent?
Yeah, so we decided to do the C&O and Gap Trail, from the Gap or the bicycle trail that connects DC and Pittsburgh, which is 370 some odd miles. We only did 260 of them. But yeah, we took 7 days. We went from DC up to Pittsburgh. We took the train down and then rode home. And my balls hurt. My balls really hurt, Jared.
I can imagine.
I'm
being-
like
being on a
locked
bike
eyes
for
with
that
Jared
long.
right now. I'm like, my balls hurt.
Do they still?
Yeah,
Wow.
kind of. Like, and like I feel like my balls are okay. It's really the taint scrotum area where the pressure was.
where the skinny seat sits.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
the skinny seat.
That's why you
sits.
stand up and ride, man.
Shoo.
So you,
That sounds like it would burn.
you can definitely. Well, it's how strong are your quads at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you take like 2 or 3 pedals standing up on a bike that weighs 70 pounds.
Mhm.
It's, yeah,
Mhm.
it's
It's
just gonna
rough.
blow them up. But yeah, we did that. Hands down, the most mentally taxing physical thing I've ever done.
Mhm.
More mentally taxing than powerlifting meet, more mentally taxing than running a 5K or anything like that. Like, just trying to tell yourself that your ass doesn't hurt so bad that you can't finish the 20 miles.
Mhm. I can imagine.
That
man.
sounds awful.
It is pretty awful, but it was, a really interesting experience. We spent, so we were out there for 6 nights, 7 days, and we spent 4 of them in a tent and 2 of them in an Airbnb or a hotel.
Mhm.
Which is, I think, good training in some way, shape, or form for like our goal to go backpacking at some point in time and like overnight backpacking and really stress ourselves that way. But hands down, the most intense day. And Todd keeps asking me, "Well, where are the highlights?" And I can't give you a highlight, but I can tell you every painful detail of the climb from Cumberland to the Continental Divide, which is 1,730 feet.
That's all.
Over a 23-mile stretch.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And I gave up. Like, at one point, we were, I think, probably 5 or 6, 7 miles from the Continental Divide, and I could no longer sit on the bike because it hurt so bad. And when you're going uphill with that much weight, you can't pedal, stand, and coast like you can going
You just gotta
downhill
keep
or
going.
flat. So I got off the bike and I started pushing it. And as I was pushing it, Anastasia kept riding ahead of me. And she's like, "I can't believe like he's quitting. Like, are we going to make this? Like, I don't know." And as I was pushing, like all of a sudden these bugs just start eating me alive.
Oh, man, you got to get your ass back on that bike.
Yeah, well, that's what I was like pushing the bike. I'm like,
yeah.
What hurts more?
Yeah.
And what's more annoying? The bug bites or my ass hurting?
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing was taking one of the towels we had and wrapping it around the seat, and that at least alleviated some pressure for a while. But yeah, brutal.
Good job, Bugs.
Mentally,
You helped him out.
Mentally, the
Yeah.
most draining thing I've ever done.
Would
intense.
you, looking back on it, would you have done anything different, or would you have same thing?
You know what? I think going the other way might have been a good idea, because then you go down the 1,700 and you coast for 23 miles.
Yeah.
But I think it would just be like making changes to our bicycle. So, we didn't really give ourselves a lot of run time on this. We kind of made the decision a month out, and because of our crazy schedules, really didn't start prepping until a week out.
Oh, gangster.
Yeah. So
Nice.
we just, like the bikes were as they were. We didn't make any changes to the handlebars or the seats or the ratios or anything like that. So I would have better preparation on the actual bike. But I mean, we rode 30 to 40 miles a day. The last day we rode. So to give you an example, it took us 5.5 hours to ride 40 miles one day when we were going from DC up to the Continental Divide. Now, it's uphill the whole way. It's not as dramatic, but it is uphill. So it took us 5 hours to ride 40-some-odd miles. Coming home, once you get on the other side of the Continental Divide, it took us 3 hours flat to ride all 40 miles.
Wow.
And we're doing, instead of do 5 miles, do a break, we're doing 10, 15, just flying.
Yeah.
But
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Wild experience.
So you're ready for the tour?
Not the tour, but the San Francisco Bike Trail.
Oh.
Which is flat and takes you out of San Francisco to the beach.
That's cool.
So nice.
What's the distance there?
That one's only $120.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's the other crazy thing, is because we strung 2 of them together. So technically, it's the longest bike trail in America when they're strung together.
Huh.
So like it's a whole nother
that's
level
awesome.
of insanity. But yeah.
Now, how do you think that kind of like maybe open your eyes to some different things? Like, did it get you more interested in biking? Is this something you're gonna like look to do more regularly, or
Yeah, I guess you probably don't know this. I used to ride 30 miles a day.
Okay. I don't know if we've ever talked about that.
Yeah, probably not.
I remember you used to ride to work.
Yeah.
You said.
Yeah. So that was like 30 miles a day.
Okay.
And then once I dropped down to one job and was able to leave at like a decent time, I just kept riding that because it was fun.
Yeah.
So
would you just go do loops around the city or something?
Yeah, like my normal loop was to leave from my job, which was based in the strip district right next to cheerleaders.
There you go.
And not at cheerleaders, just next to it.
Nah, I was there.
Yeah. And then I would ride out to McKeesport and back.
Huh.
And I would just time how long it would take me. I think I had at one point my fastest 10 miles was down to like a good 40 minutes. 10 miles in 40 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
So, but yeah, no. So I've always been in love with the bike since basically I lost my car in 2015 or 14, whenever that was. So
like you lost it, like couldn't find it.
Like the bank repossessed it because I didn't have any money. Yeah.
Man.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So, but so I still don't own a car. My wife owns both of our cars.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Good
for
for
her.
her.
So,
Got you a sugar mama.
Yeah. But
there
we were a one-car family until this year when we got the Bronco, and so I mean I rode my bicycle everywhere. So yeah, no, big bicycle guy.
No,
When
that's
you
cool.
went, I meant to ask you this.
Yeah.
So when you were out there, did you put a pack on? How did that work? Like for all your stuff? 'Cause
Yeah.
you're camping.
So it's they're called panniers. So the way it works is there's like a rack on the back of your bicycle, and they kind of hang off the side like you would imagine like a motorcycle panniers do. And then we had what's called a seat bag, which goes underneath your seat, and it looks like a big tube that comes out of the back of your seat. And then we had little front guys, little baskets, but they're waterproof and stuff. That had like snacks, chargers, that kind of like daily important shit in it. But that would be one of the things we would change. We would rearrange how we loaded the bikes so it's not all weighted in the back.
Got it.
Oh yeah, that would have been horrible.
Well, that's
going up that
so that's
incline.
why my groin started hurting, right? So literally, if your bike is too heavy or improperly packed, when you're going up a steep enough grade, you are actively pushing down on the bike handlebars to keep the front of the bike down from rearing up.
Yeah.
So when you're doing that, right, like you're either putting it all on your shoulders or you're putting it in your hips, right? And because you're also being forced to pedal up of that, right, most of your body weight is shifting back so you can get behind your legs. You don't want to be out over top of your legs, right? So that's essentially what turned the groin soreness to become so painful, was the fact that all of my weight was literally just pushing on that just to get us up the hill or to get me up the hill.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's cool. Yeah. I think when powerlifting's all said and done, I would like to get into something like that. Like Todd goes on Fridays and does some mountain biking.
Yeah.
Like that seems like it'd be a lot of fun. I grew up racing dirt bikes and four wheelers.
Yeah.
Which like that would be cool too. But mountain biking seems a little safer.
So it's called touring is what it is when you strap all this stuff on.
Yeah.
And you go for days.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. It's a really neat mix between because hiking you can only go so far in a day, right?
Yeah.
If you get up towards 20-30 miles in a day, you're just miserable. And by car you're moving too fast. You miss so much. So it's a really nice medium where you can cover, we went slow. 30 to 40 is really slow. Normally good tours are doing 60 to 80, and then if you think of like literally the Tour de France, they ride like 100-mile days.
Yeah.
So,
Now, to kind of lead into something, before, I guess a couple months ago, one of the last times we were really on here together, we talked about what some of your upcoming goals are.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I went and got hurt.
Yeah.
And then you had a lot going on, and then Jared got married, and we never really got to start or even touch on that again.
Yeah.
So is that something we're gonna hit going forward, do you think?
Yeah. So I'll edit in the video here of me training.
Yeah.
All right, today is the first day of the Josh Jackton Tan training module, whatever the fuck we want to call it. So I'm gonna head into the gym, gonna record some stuff as I work out. This is gonna suck. Did a 5-mile bike ride yesterday just to wake the body up and make it remember how it feels to sweat. So here we fucking go. So whatever just happened, I think my hamstrings just like could not handle the weight at all. And so I tried it with less weight. That didn't work. So just did 3 or 4 bodyweight squats to try to finish that set. It's like second set was really bad. Like I noticed it. So we're gonna try the rest of the workout. The kettlebell swings are 60 to 70 pounds. Like I said in the pre-video, like I've never done that. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know if I'm dehydrated or what's going on. I'm cramping up. It feels like a shark just bit up and bit my ass. This is the worst. Why did I agree to do this? Shit. All right, I'm done. All told, 45 minutes, I guess, took me to do that workout. Probably would have been faster if I didn't like die on the safety squat bar. I feel like shit. My hamstrings feel like I'm going to walk like John Wayne for a week. When I was doing the inclined sit-ups or declined sit-ups, the right side of my back feels like there was a foam roller attached to it, and the left side of my back didn't have that. Like I said, my butt hurts. Like, I mean, I'm not in good shape. I'm banged up. But that's day 1. Day 2 at some point. All right, this is the next day, literally. After the first day of workout, the hamstrings are on fire. The butt hurts. But, you know, rent's due. So here we fucking go. We'll see how this goes. Okay. We're gonna roll this together. Okay. Ready? 2. There we go. Yep. Okay. One more. 1, 2, 3. Nice job. We really should have recorded. We did. No, it's right here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're doing, for the podcast, Jared and CJ are doing my programming. So, that was all I'm doing.
I thought you meant like it was on there, like
No, like, legit. So that'll be on the mixtape.
I don't want that big on it.
Okay. That was day 2. Felt so much better than day 1. Just not as like physically taxed. I mean, like you could, like I'm sweating like a pig and I'm gassed for sure, and like it felt good. It felt like a good workout versus yesterday was like, shit, like what the fuck am I doing here? So that was good. Yeah, no real struggles with anything. I did 6 on the first inclined dumbbell, but I made it up. I did 2 extras on the other 2 sets, and got some help from Cody on the row, so that was nice. But all in all, day 2 was much easier. I think that largely comes off of the fact that like I've done an upper body, I've benched more frequently than I've squatted anything. I pretty much took squat out of my training for a while because it was really hurting my hips and stuff. So I think the safety squat bar really killed me yesterday. But so good workout. I think it took all told another 45 minutes max. I'm not taking the full 90-second breaks. I'm sure that'll come back to bite me in the ass, but I got a gas tank. I'm gonna empty it. That was dumb. So there's that. All right, day 3. All right, day 3 of the workout, still in concussion syndrome, but I have a workout partner. She's pretty hot, so we're gonna get through it together. Thank you.
Turn it up.
Here we go. All right, day 3 done. What'd you think?
I couldn't do your weight, but
Okay. Please don't tell them it wasn't tough, because they're just gonna make it harder on me to punish.
maybe I should have done more weight, but it was
Oh
nice.
shit.
It was nice.
Oh shit. All right, that's day 3. End of week 1. Now Jared and Curtis are gonna go over it with us on the podcast. So check it out.
So I did do the first week
Okay.
Okay.
of of programming that I was given.
Yeah.
And then, the idea was to then talk about it on the podcast, yada yada yada.
Mhm.
Obviously shit happened, so that didn't happen.
Mhm.
But I haven't touched the rest of the programming because I knew we would come back to it
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Between the bike ride and programming, I'm already down 5 pounds.
Good.
Awesome.
So that's
Yeah.
cool. We're sitting at 135 right now.
135.
135.
Kilos.
What? Oh, 235. 235.
I was like,
I was like, what?
I don't want to
fuck?
be the
What?
one to say it.
Oh yeah, 235. Yeah, 235.
You didn't even hear me.
So we're down 5 pounds. And doing pretty regular walks in the morning. We're trying to wake up,
Cool.
the wife and I, and hit at least half an hour of walking
Yeah.
up and down the hills.
That adds up, dude. I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now, that adds up. Because you think about it, a lot of people are like, what is 15 minutes a day going to do? 15 minutes a day, daily, for weeks, for months, for years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Think about that. So that's awesome.
I've not returned to running yet, but that's on the game plan this week. My running shoes are sitting right down there, and we'll return back to programming next week, so I can make
Awesome.
some more videos and we can start to turn that stuff out. But
We still got those measurements, unless you want me to measure you again,
no,
which you might.
no. That's,
Okay.
that's where we started,
Okay.
and it wasn't like
I
did a
know. I
week
know
of-
how excited you were when I was sitting there measuring you.
Oh no. Yeah, so no, because it wasn't like I stopped. Like I did the week of programming and then just kept
Right. Exactly.
just kept going to the gym 3 days a week. It
Yeah.
wasn't like I was like, oh, I've done it. Now I'm going to sit at home
Yeah.
and wait.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I forgot how much it sucks to start doing something again.
Oh yeah.
And that, I think, what has been the most enlightening part of it to me was you guys programmed the safety squat bar, right? And I was like, oh, friend.
Yeah.
Not friend.
Not-
Not friend.
That thing has no friends.
It does not have friends.
Not at all.
So much so that so that part of it, and it was in the video, I just started doing air squats because I couldn't get back under it. My hamstrings were so tight, and I couldn't, I tried rolling them out, I tried stretching, nothing. So I was just like, all right, I got to do something because I can't just give up. So I just started doing air squats.
Yeah.
So it's just me standing in front of the squat bar, just holding and squatting.
Dude,
Safety
no.
squat bar 1,
Yeah.
Josh 0.
And dude, don't feel bad, because when I got back into training after 2 months,
Yeah.
I was doing safety squats.
Yeah.
And the first day, I thought I'd strained my adductor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's after only 2 months of doing it.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad. That's just, man, when you get back under a bar after a certain amount of time off, that's how stuff is going to feel.
I just started squatting again this week, right?
Oh.
I'm
Hit
just
a
getting back
PR.
into no front squats. I had some volume front squats programmed, and I can barely walk
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awful.
The cool part is though, so I did your programming and then I just kept coming, right? And doing just random stuff, pretty much nothing really in particular.
Can you say that in Arnold voice?
So I started doing your programming and then I just was like, I love this so much, the pump. And I was like, okay, what else can I do? So I started doing some leg press and then, some of the leg extension and leg curl.
Is that more Cookie Monster?
It kind
or-
of turned Cookie Monster at the end.
I was talking about when you said you started coming. That was
Oh,
one,
that
that was one
video.
of the greatest Arnold lines ever.
Whoops. But then I had a cousin in town who's a big CrossFitter, and is a guy who can't miss the gym. Like he needs it, right? So he's like, "Cuz, can we work out?" So we had him here, and that motherfucker pushed me so hard because he's like, "Well, you used to power lift."
Oh, what? So I'm a. So
You're
I'm a-
undefeated too, by the way.
Undefeated, thank you.
Yeah.
But in this thick Louisiana, it's so you used to power lift,
Yeah,
you know? And it's
yeah.
like, come on, cuz you could pick that up,
Yeah.
like.
Dadgum, pick it up,
Yeah,
son.
pick it up. So
Dadgum.
he got me going the one day.
You
So
should add some plates to that.
I benched 235 with him.
Nice.
Okay.
That was like, and I hadn't benched 235 in a minute, and I was like, okay, I did it. All right, bye. And then I deadlifted 375.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was
Mhm.
maybe it was 375. I don't know. I have the video on my phone. But yeah, so we're back. We're full swing now.
Okay.
Back to the Josh gets jacked and tan.
Yeah, that's it.
I got the tan.
Yeah.
I mean, it is brutal. The
Yeah, please-
difference.
I
Show
mean-
the outside of your arm, not the inside.
I mean, you're working on it. You're working
Yeah,
on it.
It's bad.
So what we're gonna do? So after each week,
Yeah.
there was that little section for comments.
Yes.
You're gonna put in like what you hit.
'Kay.
And then if it was stupid hard, you're gonna put like stupid hard. If it was stupid easy, you're gonna put like stupid easy.
Okay.
And you're gonna comment, and then you're gonna shoot us a text.
Yep.
In our group text, you're gonna be like, "Hey guys, week is finished. Notes are updated, ready to go."
Awesome.
And then we'll put the second week together based off of your feedback from the first week.
And we'll have video content
Yeah.
coming through the podcast, and then I've been recording everything too.
Cool.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome. No,
Yeah,
I'm looking
we'll have
forward to
to
that.
work with.
Well, what are some of your goals? You have any now that you're married? You got to check that one off.
Check,
got-
just a boxy
Yeah.
check, you know.
Yeah, that's it. You got any meets in the future or
I
anything?
do. November 13th.
Oh, that's
I
pretty.
am doing
that's
a
pretty soon.
powerlifting meet. Yep.
Okay.
I didn't want to do anything too close to the wedding because I knew I wasn't gonna be
Mhm.
like in any type of routine anyway, coming
Yeah.
off of it, and didn't want to worry about training. So that's actually why I didn't sign up for the Kabuki.
Mhm.
So I signed up for one November 13th. It's in Maryland, so I'll stay at my mom's house. Westminster, Maryland is where it is.
Westminster.
Um,
Got some friends there.
do you?
Mm-hmm.
Nice, show out.
Yeah.
But I'll stay at my mom's and go there, and then the following weekend, Maggie runs the Philadelphia Marathon.
Oh, very cool.
So we're
good
doing
luck,
like
Maggie.
back
Very
to back.
cool.
Yeah, she's just now getting into it too. So we're kind of doing a whole keeping each other accountable. Like we can't miss, our
that's
training
cool.
stuff.
That's
So
awesome, man.
yeah, it's fun.
Cool.
I love going to marathons.
I didn't know she was a runner like that.
Oh yeah, she
Yeah.
ran track and cross country in college. She's technically a 3-sport athlete. She
I did know that. But I
cross
didn't know
country,
she
winter
still-
track, and
she
spring
still did it.
track, and
That's
then
cool.
Yeah, she's quit running track and she did 2 marathons before. She would never tell you this, but I will. She didn't train for either of them and ran
Yeah.
very, very good times.
Don't you hate that?
It's just insane. She's like mile 18, like happy and smiling. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the heck? Not at Philly though. She tried to keep up with someone real fast, and mile 18 was a little
Yeah.
rough on that one.
Now, has she been training? Has she started training?
She
for this yet?
she just started training. Just mileage right now, just getting
Mhm.
back into running. She
That's
hasn't been like running hard for a while, so just
Yeah.
getting back into running, and she's doing a little bit of the weights.
Yeah.
Just get some strength up, and yeah, I'm
That's
excited
awesome.
for her.
No, that's very cool. Both of you. It's always fun as you witness with Liz and I, and as you witness with Anastasia and
Yeah.
yourself. It's fun training for something at the same time. I will say it's better when it's not the same thing. So the fact that you're doing a meet, she's doing the Philly run is cool. You guys have your individual goals,
Mm-hmm.
and you're holding each other accountable, making sure you guys are doing everything outside of training that you need to do. So that's really cool
Yeah, it's exciting. It'll be
Yeah.
fun, and it's gonna be fun doing back-to-back weekends too.
for sure. Yeah. Well, especially when you go first.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well, she'll be like pretty tapered for her marathon. Like her
Mhm.
mileage, she's not going to be running heavy mileage at that point, like a
Right.
weekend out of the marathon. So it's not like she'll have a ton of like long training runs or workouts that she'll have
Yeah.
to hit at that point.
Mhm.
She's just like kind of getting mileage,
Yeah.
and I think it'll be pretty good for her.
So will she
to-
have a strict diet for that, like we do when we're training for a meet?
Strict diet, not strict. She'll probably be eating a lot because of when she's
the
putting a
miles.
ton of miles on.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I don't think it'll be too strict. It's we have conversations about like because we meal prep together, so how we do it for
Yeah.
a marathon runner and a power lifter at the same time, like
Yeah.
what that looks like. So
Well, Josh, you and I both know that Maggie and Jared are two people that could probably get away with eating whatever they want and still be good.
Well, it's interesting because we're thinking about doing vegan,
mm,
and I don't know whether or not like we're gonna go full vegan,
Mhm.
or if we just want to try it or see what we can substitute in and out. But that was something on the trail, you know, we were like eating nuts and berries and oatmeal and you know, because you can't keep meat cold
Sure.
Yeah.
on the bike. It was just kind of something really interesting. Like, you know, we're like, we could probably be vegan 3 meals out of the day.
You should talk to
CJ.
Skyland CJ.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know they are.
You know, dude, I'll be honest, they look great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
they're-
You know, they are
jacked.
2 people that switched, and they have figured out how to make it work, man.
Yeah.
And both of them look great. They perform great. They're both stronger than they've ever been, and in better shape than they've ever been. So yeah, talking to them and figuring out kind of what they did, because I don't think they're the type of people that really looked into it a lot. I think they just kind of like tried things as they went and found out what worked for them. And I think that's kind of the beauty of it.
I
you
tried
know?
vegan once in my life.
Yeah.
All right. My dad was on this like diet kind of, and it was vegan pretty much. And I was gonna do it with him to help him lose weight. So I started doing it. In the meantime, I'm working landscaping, and I was also like lifting weights and doing whatever else. I lost 10 pounds in like 2 weeks.
Oh.
I could not eat enough to like keep weight on.
Man, you probably didn't even have 10 pounds to lose.
I didn't.
No, because this
Yeah.
was you were recovering. Didn't you had an injury?
Well, I was just landscaping at the time. My injury was pretty good at that point.
Oh, okay, because I
Yeah.
remember the
I was-
one summer you said you were doing landscaping.
Yeah, so I had my hamstring was pretty
Yeah.
shot, and landscaping was my rehab actually.
Right.
Yeah.
But so I was landscaping, and all we did was haul block all day and wheelbarrows and stuff. So I was burning tons of calories,
Right.
and I could not like pack enough food to keep like
Fascinating.
yeah. I would just go through like a whole jar of nuts every day.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it, right? Is you have to, like, the amount that you have to eat
Mhm.
to
Right,
equal the density of the other whole foods
Yeah.
that
Sure.
you're eating. You know, so that takes a lot of effort from what I understand.
Yeah, but to be fair, that there is something to be said about like eating whole foods. Like you know the caloric density of a lot of whole foods isn't as intense as all this processed stuff, and then you actually get more full.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of because that was essentially what we experienced on the trail was like we could not eat enough
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
because like even when we would get into a town for a night, we would find a restaurant and we would eat an appetizer, a full
Mhm.
entree, maybe dessert. And then the next day when we woke up, we both felt like we hadn't eaten in hours.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was pretty crazy.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Well, guys, anything else to add before we wrap it up?
I
do you think?
think Dave and I might be trying to start a little thing here. And that's all the tease I'm going to give you, but
Hey,
an endurance event.
I think I know what we're getting at, but
Oh, God.
We'll leave
through,
it.
through Union. So,
Okay.
so
Okay.
we'll leave it at that for now. So
All
stay
right.
tuned for that.
All right.
there you go.
Awesome.
There's your teaser. All right, guys. Well, look, it was good. It was good being back with you, gentlemen. And let's make it a regular thing now, okay?
Amen, brother. Amen.
Let's not
Hey, man.
let's not
Hey, you better
anybody.
put some weight on that bar.
Yeah.
Y'all best
Kurt.
be putting more plates on there.
Believe that.
Live action.
All right, y'all. We're out.
Later, skaters.